Hey, good afternoon. I'm Wesley Doolittle. I'm your Montgomery County Sheriff. I'm here today with our District Attorney, Brett Ligon, and also our Woodlands President Township, Brad Bailey. We're here today to talk about public safety in the Woodlands and to let our community know that we're working daily hand in hand to keep this community safe. We understand there are concerns about a shooting that took place this week in the Woodlands, but we want folks to know that that was a random act. That wasn't a planned attack, and that person has been arrested and will be held accountable for their actions out here today or on Sunday morning. We appreciate y'all coming out today, and if you've got any questions or if you'd like any further statements, we'd like the opportunity to answer.
Brett? Sure. I think one of the reasons why we wanted to get everybody together, I was talking to Brad Sunday morning, and he had been in contact with the sheriff late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and we started talking about just how safe not only all of Montgomery County is, but this area in particular. It's what some people would describe as a almost like an asteroid event. Rarely happens, right? And not only that, it's not even a statistical anomaly. When I was trying to find out if there was something similar to this that we've had in Montgomery County, we had to go back several years ago at a shooting that was at the whistle stop, and that was a completely different setup. So it's so rare that we have this type of violence that involves multiple victims in it. Oftentimes, unfortunately, what we have in Montgomery County is we have one-on-one shootings, and the vast majority of those are domestic violence. We don't have public shootings. We don't have people in businesses shooting places up. I think because the act itself was so extraordinary is one of those things that got the sheriff and I talking and Brad talking, and part of it was to assure the community, hey, it's a one-off. We've got the resources to handle this. The community, as you can see, is already here in force. I don't think that Goose's Acre has any concerns in regards to a loss of business. It's the type of place where I've brought my family to. The sheriff has owed me and has promised me a set of cheese sticks as the appetizers. So, you know, it's one of those that is just so odd that it was notable because of how unique and how odd that it was. And so part of it is just to let the community know. I mean, I would be here eating dinner. I tried to call Brad, asked him if he'd pay. He said no. I said, well, then I'll stay at home Sunday night for dinner, but I'll meet you down there on Monday. So it's a great place. The Woodlands community is, you can see from the men and women in law enforcement, we've got Precinct 3 Constables Department that is jurisdiction here. The Sheriff's Department, you've got overlapping jurisdiction with Precinct 4 out of Harris County that comes up in a few places. The Fire Department, the EMS. I mean, the brochure writes itself for how safe the community is. And so for us, it's an easier matter. We don't have those types of shootings. So at the DA's office, it's just going to be a Tuesday for us as far as how we're going to dispose of the case. So I'm turning it over to Brad and let him talk a little bit about it.
Thank y'all so much. Incredible sheriff, incredible DA that are fearless when it comes to protecting our public. And we have a great partnership with them and the constable's office as well. And it's very important to you. Your township, the Woodlands Township, and our township board of directors, our number one priority is public safety. And we've proven it by investing we have 107 officers patrolling the Woodlands from Montgomery County. That's our supplemental contract. We've invested in drones and license plate readers to give law enforcement every opportunity they have to make sure they keep the public safe. And maybe we need to do some more things. And then the board's going to be looking at that, and our township's going to be looking at that to keep things more safe. But we got a great commitment between all of us to work hand in hand. As I said, this is a safe place. I had lunch here today. I would have bought. He showed up on time, but
now he says it.
Yeah, but no, it's an incredibly safe place. This was, like you said, an anomaly that happened. We're going to make sure that we protect our residents and our businesses, and working hand in hand with our businesses, our restaurants, our commercial property owners. See if there's some new things we can do, and see if there's some creative things. You know, getting more boots on the ground is always good, but maybe we can put some more boots on the ground right here in this district. So we're going to be looking into that here in the near future, and you'll be hearing more to come on that. So.
Right, with the overtime projects and stuff like that, the ones that the sheriff's office to do, it puts a few more boots on the ground to help keep people safe.
Absolutely.
I think we had 54 officers respond within 3.5 minutes when this incident occurred. An overwhelming response from law enforcement. So that in itself is amazing, how we were able to treat those that were injured, protect the scene, do an adequate investigation, and put the person in custody, and bring all that evidence to our district attorney so they can prosecute it effectively, like we've done many times.
So, when you're talking about the ingredients of a normal shooting, right? It's the trifecta. You've got alcohol, anger, and you introduce a gun. So that recipe is followed all over the place. So, like I said, once again, this is an anomaly, and it'd have to be to get the sheriff, the president of the township, and the DA all at one place. Just talk about how odd it is. Right. If it was something that happened more often, we'd probably just be exchanging emails. So once again, like I said, most shootings follow the same trifecta: alcohol, anger, and a gun. You introduce those three, and as my mom always used to say, nothing good happens after midnight.
Right.
Well, so you had an incident that occurred after midnight in a commercial area, and then the case would just kind of proceed through the courts, and then we'll see what happens on the other side. I think one of the reasons that the sheriff was able to respond so quickly is they already were working an initiative to try to keep the community safe in regards to the truck show that was this weekend. Right. I know there was over 100 deputies already there, so it's just a matter of those guys just responding over here.
Right.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we did an initiative in response to the public's request. The last several years, we've had the Lone Star Throwdown over at the fairgrounds. After the show, the after parties kick up, and we get these trucks and these folks out here that are tearing up parking lots. They're conducting criminal mischief by running over landscaping and sprinkler systems and terrorizing our community. And we're not going to stand for that. I had the opportunity this year to put together a task force with approximately 23 agencies, along with our district attorney. We partner with the township as well, using officers from the township and with agencies all over this community and Harris County and the Houston Police Department, working hand in hand for public safety in our community. We had a few little bad actors this weekend, but we conducted about 600 traffic stops and overwhelmingly issued about 350 citations. So we're looking for voluntary compliance. We're not looking to ruin their good time. We want folks to come to Montgomery County and enjoy what we have to offer, but also be respectful of the people that live here. And we did our best to inform folks, to educate them about the after parties and things like that, but ultimately to work with our district attorney's office, to work with our law enforcement partners, to enforce the law and give zero tolerance for that kind of behavior here. We won't tolerate it. We want that behavior to go somewhere else. We want to enjoy our community collectively. We want to keep you safe. We have 3 known victims that suffer gunshot wounds. I'm not going to talk about their injuries or anything like that. I do believe they're all stable. And because the investigation is ongoing, we'll release information as it becomes available, talking with our DA, talking with what we believe can be released safely that doesn't compromise our investigations. And that will be done through our public information office. I believe we put an update out this morning. We made about 60 arrests. I believe the number was 59. Most of them for driving while intoxicated, some for reckless behavior, some for possession of narcotics, things like that. When you have a certain number of police officers on the street, which we all compromise on, what can we spend effectively? What can we invest in our patrol and keep the community safe without breaking the bank? We have to be responsible with the money that we have to patrol the community, but we felt that it was necessary to invest in this task force and to keep the community safe during this rally because there were thousands of people from out of the area here. So we took and dedicated every police officer that we could to keep the community safe, to proactively patrol our streets, to conduct traffic stops for bad behavior, and to show some leniency in that as far as our citations go, because we're looking for those people that are doing more than just speeding, doing more than just changing lanes without a blinker. We want those bad actors that have drugs in their vehicles, that are intoxicated, that are driving reckless and causing damage. You know, I've been a policeman for about 25 years, and one of the things I learned early as a highway patrolman is you need to look beyond the traffic stop. That traffic stop is just an opportunity to talk to someone. Once you talk to them, you can figure out what's going on. Are they hauling narcotics? Are they intoxicated? Are they doing something else beyond that stop? And I think it's very important that our deputies, our policemen, and our constables work together collectively and instill the best practices when it comes to doing patrol operations, treat people fairly, but enforce the law firmly. So when you get out there and you do that, naturally, more people are going to go to jail because statistically, we're talking to more people. So that gives us an opportunity to enforce a law at a much higher rate than we normally do.
I can say just from my experience, I'll give you a real world example. Since Sheriff Doolittle's taken over, I have seen a drastic change in the amount of police officers that are on our streets. And Sunday morning, after all this happened, I went to my favorite coffee spot, Do-Si Do, located in the Woodlands, Alden Bridge, and was getting coffee, and a sheriff's vehicle was parked right there on Kirkendall and Research, and just patrolling. And I went and offered to get coffee or breakfast, and he said, I'm good right now. I said, we're just patrolling the streets, making our presence. My area I'm working is the Alden Bridge area. We want to see police cars in front of our business, and that's my job. That didn't happen December 31st. And his team has really come in and driven it home, and we're all seeing a lot more boots on the ground, and that's a great thing for our community, and we can't think of enough. And then if some idiot's going to come here and commit a crime, you got Bulldog Ligon here who's he's gonna take him on for sure. So we got a great team, and like I said, public safety is number one here in the township and the township board, as well as the rest of our community. So.
See that at all?
So I think that Chief Zitzman said it best. What you don't want to do is dissuade people from getting involved and saying, hey, look, there's a standard that you're going to have to meet if you're stopping an active shooter. And so I want the Montgomery County public to know, hey, look, when you're stopping somebody, the amount of force that you can use is what the state law grants. And so if you're in fear for your life and there's an imminent apprehension of serious bodily injury or death, you can use deadly force to prevent that force being used against you. And so one of the things that immediately went through my mind was I had heard some of those same reports. I was not concerned about it one way or the other. I know that the incident unfolded within a matter of a few moments. And I know that there were several brave people within the crowd that responded to get the suspect in custody. The fact that the amount of force that they used was immediate and overwhelming and effective sounds like a good job to me, Montgomery County.
Right. I don't think we want to create a culture that enables the bystander effect, which is a phenomenon where people just observe and don't act. We live in a proactive community with a lot of good people in it that will step up and help protect you if necessary. I think it's an admirable thing for them to have done that. It could have potentially saved other lives.
Are you hoping the task force like this will continue to help spread the word? Because we're kind of in charge.
Ultimately, all law enforcement wants is voluntary compliance with the law. Educating people, informing them about what can or will happen, and ultimately enforcing the law is what we're paid to do. And we do that without hesitation. We do that because we have a great district attorney, we have great juries, we have great judges. People in our community support law enforcement. We certainly appreciate it.
What would you say to them to encourage them that Montgomery County is a police state and that they want to play?
I would tell you, or I would tell them, not to let someone else dictate your happiness. I would tell you to live your life, to go about your day in this community and enjoy it, and know that you employ good police officers. You have support of the township. You have the support of our district attorney. You have our good constables here. And you have other folks out in this community that demonstrated their willingness to step up and protect you if you can. And know that if something happens to you, we'll do the very best we can to hold them accountable.
Couldn't have said it better.
I would say I think it's always good to look in new ideas. What could we do something else different? Could we have a greater presence? We've already started having dialogue already since Sunday night of, could we have a bigger presence in this district specifically? How could we go about doing that and having that discussion and what the sheriff's needs would be if we were to have like a substation down here and what the cost would be, how we could do it, but like putting that into effect immediately to make people see that we're serious about this. This is not something that we're just, talking about. We're putting, action behind what we're talking about. So we have a board meeting on Wednesday this week, and I'm sure it'll be a topic of discussion, but there's a lot of sidebar discussions that we're having right now, and it's important to keep make sure that that lady you're talking about feels safe. And it's boots on the ground, and we've got that in spades.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.